Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Wealth Defense Radio, the podcast, the video series.
Wow.
I know. I am your host, Josh Nahosa, and I am an independent advisor representative for SWAN DFW, which is the company that puts on this podcast. And I am here with my co-host, Hector and Nahosa.
Howdy.
And Hector is a certified financial planner, which is the top mark in
Very
our
top.
industry. Really top. So first things first,
Okay.
how are you doing?
I'm doing well.
That's good. So Hector yesterday bought a golf swing speed reader. How did that work out for you?
Yeah, I think I'm going to take up pickleball is what that So, yes, my swing speed is worse than I thought. It's not senior. It's not women's. It's women's junior swing speed. It's ridiculous. Anyway, it's broken.
If you just put more effort in.
That's what it is.
Yeah, for sure. So this podcast is brought to you by SWAN DFW. SWAN stands for Sleep Well at Night, Dallas, Fort Worth. Hector and I are the two people that run that. So if you call SWAN, you're calling us. And the number for that will be at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
Thanks to our great video editor.
He is great.
And if you're listening to us on audio only, that's 888-792-6339.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that fast enough where nobody will be able to hear it.
888-792-6339.
Okay. Now you caused all kinds of wrecks over the Metroplex, so people are trying to write that number down.
So today's episode
Okay.
is about election cycles and what that has to do with the market. That'll be our overarching topic, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
But before we do that, every week, if you're new, we do a funny news story
We hope it's funny.
that we came across, or at least an odd news story
Yeah.
that we came across. This week's is golf related.
Oh, my favorite.
The Canadian Open was this week.
Yes.
And you know who Fluff is. Fluff is a caddy.
The caddy. Yeah.
Okay, he got injured
Yeah.
caddying for CT Pan, who is a professional golfer playing
Okay.
in the tournament.
All right.
And Fluff could not continue for the final 14 holes of CT Pan's round.
Okay.
So Pan enlisted a random fan to caddy for him for the
Cool.
last 14 holes.
Yeah.
First,
Yeah.
would you ever caddy for a pro for 14 holes?
Yeah, if we get a lighter bag. Because the bags they carry, they have, different golf balls and, more golf gloves, a microwave oven. They carry everything that they will
They
need
do.
because that's a rule. You can't, so everything, extra clothes, a suitcase, gold bars. So it can get very heavy is the point. So if we made it lighter,
lightened it
yeah, I'd
up,
love to
if
do
you
that.
just took stuff out in the middle of the round and just left it.
Here's my trail to get home.
What do you think that first conversation between Pan and just the random guy that he called in from? Because he was just standing there.
Yeah.
He just happened to be standing there, and Pan looked
Yeah.
over and waved him in. It was like, "You're up, buddy." How did
Yeah.
that first hole go? Do
Do
you
you
think?
think you can how did it go? I have no idea.
Well, no. How did the conversation go?
Well, probably, can you carry this for 3.5 miles? The guy I would imagine is a little bigger and looks like he's in good shape. That would be my deal is, can you actually do this? What was the conversation?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just
Yeah. But that would be my, can you carry this? And then can you say nothing? I'm not going to ask you for advice. I don't need. Just carry the bag, clean the clubs.
I don't know. I think you got to have some amount of small talk. That's a long time to just be
Yeah,
hanging out.
probably true. But that has to be an experience for that
He
young
can
man.
tell that guy. He can tell his family.
Yeah, I
did
caddied.
this.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, you caddied for a famous guy once,
I did.
Phil Mickelson.
I did caddy for Phil
Well, you
Mickelson.
were like 6 or 7.
Yeah. There's even photographic proof.
Photographic.
Somewhere.
We might be able to sneak that in now that we have a way of
Yeah,
Yeah, it was very cool.
it was very cool.
Yeah.
I remember it like it was a long time ago.
20 years ago.
So let's get into our financial topic since we
Okay.
are financial planners.
I think that would be a good thing.
kind of our thing.
Yeah.
So we talked about, or the thing we are going to talk about is stock market performance in presidential election years. Obviously, we have a presidential election coming up, so this is very timely.
Yeah, and let me tell you where that comes from. Is already I'm getting phone calls, people saying, "What should we do? Is who should we root for to get elected? Is it better to have a Democrat or a Republican in the House?" And all of that. And mostly though, people are scared. They're going, "Oh my God! Every time there's an election, the market goes down." And I thought, well, maybe we can talk about that a little bit. And see if we can't settle some nerves down.
Yeah, so let's start with just some general election facts. We have the S&P 500 annual stock market returns during election years.
Yeah.
From every year since 1928 to our last election in 2020.
Yeah.
So that's
a lot.
That's about 24 elections.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. The market in election years has only gone down 4 times.
Yeah.
And each of those had a reason for that was not the election.
Right.
One was the Depression. One was we were about to go into war.
World War II. Yeah. 1940.
In 2000, the dot-com bubble burst.
Yeah. So that was huge.
In 2008,
The housing
bubble.
Yeah.
So the market can go down, but it's not generally because of who wins the election.
Yeah, that's really true. And I think one of the things we need to say is that we're going to talk about trends, and trends are always good to look at and see what has happened in the past. But like everything in the market, past performance is no guarantee of future performance. And so, can things go different? They can. So we're going to be talking about is what has happened. And we can infer some things, but we certainly can't guarantee anything. So, yeah, I think before we get into it, for our purposes, what we want to do is say, have a really good portfolio that matches your risk tolerance and just hold it for the long term. Tweak it now and then, but just hold it for the long term. And we were just talking about in 2000, the market was down, what did we say?
9.1%.
So when the market goes down, there's usually a rebound in the following year. And the trick is not to panic no matter what happens. But let's talk about historically what has happened during the election years.
Yeah, so historically, Democrat or Republican wins. The market's done pretty good, regardless of party in office.
Right.
And that's been very consistent
Yeah,
through the
that's
last
right.
100 years.
And so it's like a quarterback in an NFL team, I guess. When the market goes down, the president gets blamed way too much. And when the market goes up, the president gets way too much credit for it. The reality is the market is reacting to market conditions. It's reacting to what a company is doing. It's reacting to interest rates. It's reacting to things that can't be influenced by the office of the presidency, no matter who's in there.
Yeah, I think it's important to say that. Like, it's not the president's fault that the market crashes. It's also not the president's fault that it went up 60% or whatever. It just, the market's going to do what it's going to do regardless of who's in office.
Yeah, but what happens is when the market goes down, the president and his people will say it's not our fault. And then when the market goes up, what they'll say is, this is all because of us.
Yeah.
So I think being human is a part of being the president.
Yeah, I mean, it's the American way.
It is the American
You're like,
way.
that bad thing, not my fault.
Not
This
his
good
fault.
thing, absolutely my fault.
All me. Yeah.
So there are more, obviously, things that affect the market than just the presidency.
Right. As a matter of opinion, as a matter of fact, but what most of us have been doing this for a while. What the stock market really likes in Washington, D.C. is a divided government. It likes to see Democrats maybe have the president, like right now, the Senate and the presidency, but the Republicans having the House. And the reason the market likes that is not anything, because it could be flipped, right? Is that when that happens, usually nothing gets done. And if you really think about what the government can do, most of what it does is spend money. And I don't know, I think most of us know that we're like $37 trillion in debt. So when they spend money and we don't have a balanced budget, so when we're spending money, we're really spending money we don't have. So most of us in the market are fiscally conservative, and we would really like to see the budgets balanced and some of the debt come off. But spending more and adding more to the debt and the deficit, probably not a good thing. So that's, for the most part, the market likes to see divided government. But it is interesting to me that most people, when you ask most people, is the market better off with a Republican or a Democrat administration? Or the question they asked here is, under what administration did the market go up the most? Knowing nothing about anything, most of us would say, well, it has to be a Republican. But the reality is Bill Clinton, who was very much not a Republican, And matter of fact, I think that was one of the last times the budget was actually balanced. So again, now the Trump administration, I think, was second, second to Bill Clinton. So again, the overriding thing here, the takeaway from today is, don't panic. Stay the course. Make sure you have a good portfolio. Make sure that you're inside your risk tolerance, and go and vote. Voting is extremely important. But just know that while social policies may change, economics, the market as a whole, is probably going to be little affected by who is or isn't in office.
So the trick is to have a good long-term plan, right?
That's correct.
Beyond even the 4 years of this presidency, you want to be set no matter who's president, who wins the presidency in this election, the next election, and the election after.
That's right. A well-diversified portfolio, and we have history to show it here, will be able to overcome the bumps, the ups and downs of a market. The very worst thing is, I voted for this guy, and that guy got elected, and then in the short term, we may have a 5 or 10% correction, and people panic, and we buy and sell at the wrong time, and so there's a panic. We think, oh my God, we need to get out, and we sell at a loss, and then we don't ever think the market's going to get better until the market gets better, and then it keeps going up day after day, week after week, month after month, and then we say, okay, it's time for us to get back in the market when it's much higher. So we sold low to buy high, and that's not a very good plan for making money in the market. Did you know that? I just made that up as I was going through.
Did you learn that at Certified Financial Planner School?
Second day of CFP school is you buy low and you sell high.
That begs the question. What was the first day of financial planning school?
How are you going to pay for this? Just like a hospital. Yeah, this is going to be great. Shows your insurance card, please, sir.
So, big takeaways from today.
Yeah.
The party that wins the presidency, for economic reasons, doesn't super matter.
Doesn't super matter is right. You may have a day or two or a week or something, but in the long run, over the period of years, and we just saw that over 20-something, there was 3 or 4 times the market went down, and like you said, those 3 or 4 times were unrelated to the presidency. There was things going on in the market, or we're getting ready to go to war, or things like that,
So you want a good long-term plan.
Yep. Well-diversified portfolio inside of your risk tolerance, so that if the market does go down, the amount that it goes down is going to be managed by the portfolio you have. A more conservative portfolio is going to go down less. That's like by definition.
And I'll add one. You want somebody who can talk you off a ledge in your retirement planning plan.
I think we earn our money, a big chunk of our money, in the moments where everybody's on the ledge. It makes me smile because during the pandemic, the market started to slide bad. And I had a lady I felt really bad for. She called me and she said, this thing called the Dow is down 1,000 points and everybody seems to be really upset. I don't really understand it, but should I be worried? I said, no, ma'am. That's a once in a lifetime thing for the market to be down that much in one day. We'll never see it again in our lifetimes. You just hang tight. It's going to be good. And then the next day she called and said, the Dow seems to be down another 1,000. But by this time she was laughing. She was a little, I said, just hold on. And she did. And things are good. So yeah, hold on, have somebody to talk to. We'll talk you off the ledge. We'll talk, and it'll be good.
Yeah. So if you want to talk to us, we have a couple of different ways that
even if you're not on the ledge, we'll be happy to visit with you. Maybe keep you off the ledge. That would be a good thing too.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
So we have a couple of different ways that you can do that. The first way is a phone number, like we said at the beginning of the episode, and that is 888-792-6339. That's 888-SWAN-DFW.
That's very clever. I wonder who came up with it.
The world may never know. And if you would prefer written correspondence, we have an email address, and that is info@swandfw.net. That is info, like short for information, INFO, at swan, like bird, DFW, like Dallas-Fort Worth.net.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, and if you enjoyed, we'd love to hear from you. If you've enjoyed the episode, especially now that we're on video, share it with a friend. We most of the clients we have come up through referrals. So yeah, do us a favor and don't keep us a secret.
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening. If you're on YouTube, like and subscribe, and that just lets you have it be recommended to you.
Yeah. And make a comment. That's even better for the, what do you call it? The
algorithm.
The algorithm. Everybody always says that. I don't know what that means, but it seems to be important.
And we'll catch you all in the next one.
Yeah, thank you. God bless.
The preceding content is informational only and based on information available when created. It is not an offer or solicitation, nor is it tax or legal advice. It does not consider your financial circumstances and objectives and may not be suitable for you.